We live in Brooklyn, baby. We're trying to make it, baby. We wanna make it, baby.
3, 2, 1. Welcome, everybody. Welcome back to Vintage Insanity Check. Is that what we're calling it? Vintage? Mini?
No, I think you would call it
Vinny
like
check.
vintage. No, stupid. I think it was vintage check.
Vintage Check.
Vintage Insanity Check. You know, because it looks like our old show. Pretty much what?
I, of
2-man
course,
background.
Candace is Skillet Sauce. So this is going to be your uniform now, your outfit? The setup or step away or step up?
For this one, for this show.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah. No, I mean, and the larger show. What do you call it? The
The big boy.
the big boy room. Yeah, the big boy room. I'll have whatever on. But for here, I kind of like. I don't know. It just seems to.
Yeah.
Fit
Just
for here.
asking. Just
Yeah.
asking.
And this is the one that has the skillet sauce on it, so it has the step up or step away, which I'm thinking of, like, if enough people like these, you know, probably doing some kind of giveaway and selling some for other people. You know, this one's got the skillet sauce on the back, so, you know, I don't know if you would want something like that or your own sauce name or whatever, but I don't know, we'll figure that out.
Yeah, it could be a new thing of your own sauce name.
Oh, who knows?
As we're taping this now, this just happened today. TMZ released the footage of what took place between Ray Rice and his fiance at the time inside the elevator.
Inside the elevator. Well, actually leading up to the elevator, which I think sets the tone of what happened in the elevator.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so basically, again, the footage, I don't know why they did this. They did it kind of choppily. You'll see this, you know, right now. But I personally can't exactly tell whether it's a punch or a hard mush or a slap.
No, it looks to me. It looks like the first one looked like a soft-handed, like cuff, like he cuffed her. Like it didn't look like a slap because I didn't see his fingers up like that, and it didn't look like he turned it over. So it looked like he cuffed her, which is like his hand. He hit it with the back of the hand, the knuckle part of the hand, but it didn't look like it was a solid closed fist. But it definitely looked like it was more closer to a punch to me. Mm-hmm. And it was oddly enough, I had made a comment, whereas I thought initially he didn't give her a full-on like haymaker, punch. I thought it was a combination of whatever blow he gave her, alcohol consumption, and her hitting her head up against the wall or the railing on her way down, which basically incapacitated her. And the video pretty much speaks to that. Well, first of all, has this changed your mind or opinion of him before we even get into the details of the actual incident? Does it,
No, because he didn't give her the Garvin stomp or any shit like that. He didn't, give her a couple of chests.
Ronnie Garvin stomp.
It basically what I thought happened. This dude made a bad, terrible decision. Mm-hmm. He let his temper, get that in conjunction with the alcohol get the best of him, and he did something fucked up. Again, to me, for some reason, what is the worst part of this? And people say what you want.
His callous nature of her.
Yeah, after that, she's on the floor. He dragged her out, slopped her there.
Just kicking out her feet and shit.
Kicked out her feet and shit. Then, the dude, the hotel or a casino
concierge
worker,
or whatever, somebody
came over. And then he fucking slumped her up and just looked like halfway in the elevator. To me, that was more indicative of.
He treated her like a dirty carcass, like a zombie carcass and shit.
He was trying to. Get a
piece of gum off his shoe or something.
A Bowery hobo off of him or some shit like that.
Yeah, that was pretty bad. But
so like again, for me, that's like because I don't personally do shit without before I know it or out of anger, especially like hooking off on anybody, man or woman. But I know this happens to people. People lose their mind briefly and it happens, but after that happened, then just be like, get the fuck up, or whatever. That was kind of fucked up.
Clearly, to me, when I, seeing the footage when they were obviously coming from the casino. No one's seen the casino footage yet.
Right.
It hasn't made public yet. So whatever happened in the casino, some of the initial stories and initial reports was that she was going in on him, berating him or whatever. I think she spat upon him or something like that. I'm not exactly sure, but it was some kind of altercation because when this video starts, he's standing there, look like he's messing with his phone, and she's coming. As soon as she passes him, he like says something in her face, and he makes his head gesture like that. So I don't know if he combination of spitting on her, or calling her a bitch or whatever, but he said something to her, and he invaded her personal space, and she was like recoiling him, back up off me. She put hands on him. So he's like, well, whatever. I'm going to the elevator, and that's why I think there was some to me, Ray Rice, it looked like he was like, all right, when I get you someplace where nobody can see, I'm fucking you up. For whatever happened out there, that's what it looked like. I can't wait to get you someplace.
Now, when you say fuck that,
well, I mean, no, it's not be the ass, because if he was going to be the ass, he would just jumped on an elevator. But I mean, it looked to me like he was like, okay, I can't wait, because to what I can respond.
To do when I get you home.
When I get you home, so I can respond, because obviously responding to her out in public, would have been terrible because I'm Ray Rice. So he's like, when I get you behind closed doors, we're gonna see. And they went into the elevator, and he did the same thing to her. He said something to her, whatever, and she immediately pushed him off, and he gave her a soft, not soft, but a structure, gave her a left hook. And she was braced, both her feet was on the floor, so she just was like, oh, what? And then she bull rushed him. So the first punch was nothing that would knock her out or nothing like that. It was just, it could have been, like I said, it looked like an open-handed cuff. But whatever it was, he got in her face, she pushed him back, which I think she should have done. He used that as the reason to give her the first left. Then she bull rushed him, because in her mind, she probably was like, what the fuck was he hitting in the face? So she bull rushed him, and he gave her a check left hook. A check left hook, whether it's open-handed, closed-handed, is a bad thing. TMZ trying to amp it up and said he lifted her off her feet like the old Nintendo fucking Ring King. That was not the case. What happened was she was running, and when you run, one foot is on the floor and the other one is raised. So you don't have the same base if someone pushes you, laterally. And he caught her, and the whole thing, you want to see a perfect example of the effectiveness of a check left hook? Look at Floyd Mayweather Jr. versus Ricky Hatton. It was basically the punch that sealed Ricky Hatton's fate. Because, so this woman, with all the weight is coming forward, he perfectly timed it being Ray Rice and caught her. She went off balance. She didn't go flying up in the air or anything. Like, she went off balance and went to the side, and her head hit that railing. It was like getting hit with a pipe. That was it. She was out. I think anybody would have been concussed or badly dazed from something like that. So I still would like to see what happened in the casino, and then factor in their past history together, because something tells me this is not the first time these guys had some kind of issue. Okay,
my question to you now is, you want to see this to make a determination of what?
No, I think he acted really the world's worst decision. I think he clearly lost his temper, and he used her responses to his aggressive word or his aggressive talk or whatever he was doing to her as a way to justify his get back for whatever had taken place earlier. And, that shows a flawed way of thinking. Because I think he literally was like, okay, I'm going to, get up in your face, and then the second you push me back, up is on. And clearly there was bad decisions made that evening that were compounded on both of their parts. And when you have a situation like that with a male and a female, most likely the person that's going to be standing on top, at the end, whether rightly or wrongly, I know most people think, it's always going to be wrong. I'm not against that, but I think it's a case-by-case basis. But either way, most likely the man is going to come out on top. And because of that, obviously society is like, oh my God, he did what he did, and he's completely wrong. I think he was completely wrong in the way I saw him, the way he handled it. I think that was completely wrong. In lieu of, if I would have just taken that as an isolated thing, not factoring in anything that happened previously, not taking into account whatever may have happened at the casino, I would say that Ray Rice basically instigated a situation and where he would be hit first so he could retaliate with his man strength and clock his woman. That's what I thought. Yeah.
I don't know if it could very well be. I don't know if, but see, to say that line of thinking puts him more in the line of a woman beater than a dude who just reacted poorly, though.
Well, see, the way that, okay, put it this way. You know, if it was a situation after seeing that, I wouldn't, whether this is his first offense or not, I wouldn't put it past him to do something like that again in his life, only because, you know, I think we've all been in situations, you know, any man that's like dealt with a woman for any period of time that heard a whole bunch of shit that he probably felt like just knocking her out, and if she was a guy, he'd have probably been knocked her out. But most of us, I hope, do not do that. You know, and the way in which it seemed like he just could not wait to find a justifiable reason to practice that step left, you know, that other check left hook is my thing. I mean, he could have shoved her, he could have strangled the fuck out of her in the elevator. He was too quick to put hands on her. Because I thought initially it was like that Jay-Z shit. I thought she was going berserk on him in the elevator. And he was like, you know what, my cup runneth over. Enough is enough. No. He had it in his mind from the second she passed by him from that casino that whatever that rod did to him, whatever she did in his brain, is going to be get back time.
But like you said, if that was the case, then why didn't he just fucking hook off on him?
Because I think in his brain, that's what I said. I think he tried to find a justifiable reason in which to do what he wanted to do anyway. You see, I think that was in his warped way at that point in time. He felt like, hey, she charged me, or hey, but I mean, who wouldn't charge you if you hit him? You know, hey, she put hands on me. Well, you put your fucking, you know, because I say the same thing about the women. Hey, you go put your hand in a man's face and he clobbers you, don't complain on all the stuff you didn't do. Well, if he did not, because she was walking by him outside, and he did that thing which made her do this. When they went into the elevator, she was up against the wall. She closed the distance and did like, you know, whatever he said in her face to make her react. And then everything took place. I think so. He literally set this up in a way to where he could somehow in his brain absolve him of the responsibility of, not responsibility, the, what word am I looking for? The, now maybe this, it's not responsibility, but he just basically wanted to give himself the justification for being able to clobber his woman. She did something, in my mind, she did something in that casino to where he was like, I gotta be able to knock your ass out tonight, but I still don't want to feel like a complete woman beater. So let me try and do something to make you put your hands on me so I can go, oh, look, she touched me first. Now I got, you know, right the clobber. That's what it seemed like to me. So after seeing that, there's so many other things he could have done in that elevator.
Yeah, no question. I mean, that's not up to, you know, debatable. I mean, we said that from the beginning without knowing what happened. You know, yeah, you don't almost ever have to fucking, you know, punch a woman.
Yeah, I mean,
you know, but I mean, it's interesting. I mean, I know, like, you know, I don't know. Like I said, if that was his line of thinking, then he
needs counseling.
Yeah,
because it may happen again. I mean, like I said, the way it seemed to me, for him to say that, that's like, you know, a person that understands that they're a pederast but never had a chance, but they already know that's what I am. So if you leave me around some kids and they getting straight dick, that's what he seems like. He seems like, whether this was his first case or not, he is capable of cold clobbering a woman out. Because you couple that with the way in which the disregard for her life and his fucking body. Like the way you see the old movies where they kicking the wino in the alley, just kicking him on the floor and shit. That's what it looked like. It looked like blatant disregard for her completely. Because you figure that would be a sobering thing of like you getting in an argument and you do something to your significant other, then you're like, oh my God, you know, you want to cause people pain, but you really don't want to cause them pain. You know the whole thing?
Oh, yeah.
He was like, nah, bitch, take that and here's some more and get the fuck out of my path. I got to go back to the room.
See, now in my head, I'm like, okay, is this really their relationship? And if it was, you know, either she's crazy for, you know, stepping to this dude who she knows is like this, you know, or again, this is like a a first time thing, and I don't know. And again, I'm not trying to get this dude out of it. He fucked up.
No, he fucked up. No, I'm definitely not getting after seeing this shit. I'm definitely not getting him.
But yeah, like I said, just the premeditated nature that you're describing. I'm like that's really fucking foul. And one would think if that was the case, that if he's up on her, women who are in a relationship like that, they don't fucking step live because they know what's going to happen.
Like I said, I don't think it's necessary. We don't know if they've had, past incidents like this before. Or she could be like I was listening to a story about a dude, and I'm gonna put his name out so we could use him in the tags. Forrest Carter. He's the cat that shout out to him. He does a lot of crazy shit on YouTube, reviewing tech products and shit like that. He does this thing on the weekends called Amazon Warrior, where he just buys things from Amazon and reviews them. Mm-hmm. So he was telling a story about the Labor Day parade in which a Jamaican chick had like just a her flag. It was a big flag that was wrapped around her titties, and she'd hold it in, and that was all she had. That's what they do when they go to the carnival, Labor Day parade. So some fucking dude came and pulled the screen in the back, and the titties came out. He said she didn't even think about covering herself up. She was on this motherfucker, fighting hardcore. Some people, because it seems like his woman, the second he got in her face, Ray Rice's woman got in her face, Ray Rice got in her face, she was back at him. She's one of them aggressive people. It didn't seem like he had beaten that out of her. It seemed like she still had a lot of, So who knows? They might have been those kind of aggressive people. I have seen this with my own eyes. Women and men, fighting like two dudes. Just rumbling back and forth. And you would think that after a while a woman would relent and be like, oh my God, I can't take it. No, going back and forth. My first introduction to handball was seeing two people that, a man and a woman, bottles at each other, they were fucking playing. They were fighting. So, my point is, whether it happened in the past or not, she didn't seem like a good person. She seemed like, she was going to stand up for herself. Mm-hmm. She seemed like the kind of woman that was not going to not going to hit you up until the point that you get knocked out. But he still, I think he set that shit up.
All right, so then next point is, A, do you think that the NFL really, and it's actually debatable, people are still debating whether the NFL actually saw this video prior to handing Ray Rice's 2-game suspension. But let's assume that, let's take that out of the equation. What we now see now, does that change your opinion on the suspension? And do you think that, what they had, they felt that they needed to do with the minimum 6 games if you get caught up in domestic violence, and then a year, and you have to try to get yourself reinstated, basically get kicked out of the league for the minimum of a year if you have a second case of domestic violence. So again, A, was the punishment now justified, and B, did they make the right move with the extension?
Well, the NFL being a privately run industry, they can do what they want. I think if you look at just the elevator video, and we all knew that it was going to be, whatever you saw in there was not going to be something that helped Ray Rice, because the end result is a woman knocked out with a dude dragging her out of an elevator. So even if he just missed her in the forehead and she fell and clobbered herself, and he double fished her shoulders and she fell and clobbered herself, there was no way for him to come out of that elevator without that dirt on him. So I'm thinking, and I was under the impression that the NFL had seen this footage, also took it probably through whatever channels, because they both came to the NFL and spoke to them. So between the video, the testimonies of the two participants, which would obviously lend clarity to what happened prior to the elevator incident, which is whatever took place in the casino.
And let's not forget really quickly,
the
inaction of the police.
And the inaction of the police, who once again were also privy to everything that happened, and was able to determine that, this was just two people that just got into it, and the stronger one, but both of them are like, whatever. So I think with the way in which the NFL was doing things at that point in time before they felt the pressure. I think it was still correct initially, but as a business now, they have to do what they have to do. Now, Goodell was under the impression that because the law didn't punish you in this particular case, he could be lenient. Whereas we all know, like they said, if you smoke weed and you're part of the Denver Broncos, your ass is still gonna get suspended, even though it's legal in, because what the law does and what the NFL does is two different things. In retrospect, in hindsight, he would get 6 games. But I think at the time that it happened, with the way Roger Goodell was thinking, not taking anyone else's shit into play, just thinking about himself, his judgment, and the league as it was at that point in time, I think he would have done it. I think it was still two games. I think it would be 2 games. But clearly, we don't live in that kind of society. Clearly, the society we currently live in today in this country, it's got to be 6 games. It doesn't matter what she did. She could have been holding in his entrails because she fucking gorgeous, dude. And he was like, oh, and slapped her back, and she's unconscious. 6 games. That's just the way it is today.
And on while I was doing my jog this morning, I was listening to Mike and Mike. And
you jogging again?
Yeah. I was listening to Mike and Mike in the morning, ESPN morning show, and they said again what we said, which was, I'm tired of fucking repeating now that you're not supposed to be beating on bitches, but that part of the reason why this is such a humongous story, because we all know, again, American society, black people, white people, young men, old men, and there's no one's immune to domestic violence. I mean, we all know that women are having a whole lot better today than they did 50 years ago, when you can stand your woman up in front of a police precinct and give her 2 backhands and no one was going to say shit.
Yeah, they'll tell you to take it inside.
Yeah.
Take that shit inside,
But, so, I think we've come a long way. But they said the reason why this was so big is because it was caught on video.
Of course. If
People got to see the video. They got a chance to now, not speculate, not one of there's the outrage. I can see it. Oh, I'm so outraged that something has to be done. Even though, again, and this is what it's been going on. It's been going on. Right or wrong, it's been going on. But because now we get a chance to see it, oh my God, this is the most horrible thing in the fucking world. And don't ever, and no excuse, and yada, and you're crazy if you're thinking. These are the terms that's been used. I mean, Golic said it today. You're crazy. I think you're crazy if you think that there's any justification to ever hit a woman. I think you're crazy. Which means American society was insane. Europe is completely insane. Lord knows the Middle East is fucking out of their goddamn minds.
Yeah, I guess everybody's insane. When I said I go back to, I think anyone on a Disney-run owned network the show has to say that. I have to say that, because I bet you if Golic, who has, I believe, 2 sons. Mm-hmm. I believe he has 2 sons. I bet you if one of his son's wives was basically taking their high heels and putting his fucking eyes out, and he just was like, I want to have one good eye to see and just go over one. I don't think my Golic would go, son, you're insane. I don't think so. But he had to say that. That's what you have to say. But I was just giggling, not about the subject, but about this outrage when people get video proof of things that we find morally reprehensible, society-wise.
Even though we've had knowledge of it for fucking
knowledge of it for years. Except for when it comes to one of our other things that we're going to talk about, unless it comes to the cops killing some black motherfucker. Or choking a black motherfucker. Oh, you have video, you have crews, you have a fucking lighting setup. You can have people putting.
FYI, that Darren Wilson, the dude who shot the kid in Mississippi, Missouri, Ferguson, Missouri.
Yeah,
they have a GoFundMe page, 2 pages for him.
Of course.
Over $330,000 has been raised for his defense because, somehow he didn't do anything wrong. Somehow, yet again, an unarmed black man put his life in danger, and he could do nothing else but blast this dude down from about 20 to 30 feet away, including 2 shots to the fucking dome. But he needs defending, because I wrote about this in an article, and there's actually they have comments from fucking people who contributed to Darren Wilson's fund, with shit like, what a waste of good bullets. I hope this is a lesson. This shows the police that, the citizens of America are behind you no matter what.
The citizen.
Yeah.
People feel like they represent the entire demographic.
Whatever that counts.
Well, it is true. Yeah. What about that white officer? We didn't even talk about this one yet. I was going to save it for the big room. The white officer that was like pulling over minority older women and ripping the fuck out of him, and all some kind of shit. So they finally caught his ass, because the dude was, guilty. And there's the same kind of crowdfunding thing to help his defense.
Because
there's a white guy raping minority women. You abusing his authority as a police officer, and he needs to be defended.
White males in this country need all the help they get.
I was just thinking, apparently, I want to know if what the situation would have to be for white folks to go. There's something that white folks did perpetrate against minorities. But other whites would go, that shit is really
fucking wrong, and we're not going to crowdfund you. We're not going to do anything. You fucked up.
Let's be fair. Let's be fair. There's plenty of white folks who find what they
I know.
But I'm saying, like, the ones in power, the ones that are able to, not kind of put in the comments, just trolls and all sorts of shit. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about how, the police always go, well, we have to investigate this situation, even though, the guy put out a fucking M60 and just go spray down a whole fucking black basketball team in public. So we gotta do for our own internal investigation. I want to know what would have to be to where they go, what? We're going to investigate. The evidence says this dude did something that's wrong.
Then you'll be setting a precedent for these people to not have the imperialistic system that they have. What I found really funny was last week they announced that they were going to have police cams on 60 cops test run, obviously spurned on by what happened in Staten Island when they choked out that black dude.
Breaking up a fight, right?
For breaking up a fight, yeah. Because he got caught out there with the broken window tactics. He sells illegal cigarettes, not crack, not heroin, not kiddie porn. He sold illegal cigarettes, which is basically just loosies, on the street or whatever. And fuck dudes fighting. We gotta take care of you. And of course, again, this is part of my article. He got belligerent, he did the stupid shit and tried to resist when the pigs are after you. And that, in conjunction with his heart condition and his obesity and his asthma, he's now a dead motherfucker.
Well, see, here's your point, but I told you I disagree with that whole belligerent shit. Why is it belligerent?
Again, physically. Physically.
So I know what you're saying. So at certain point,
what's that line? What's that line? Because
when they're like, "Yo, put your hands behind your back," put your hands behind. They're not just telling you to tell you. They want you to do it. And if you don't do it, they're going to physically make you do it. And once the physical confrontation comes in, now that's
their justification for doing
light to do anything
but
else.
At what line? I mean, because it seems like at any given point.
See, I don't want to hold on to your point, the point that you were going to make.
Do you remember it?
The webcams.
Okay, the cams.
Hold on to the point. So that thing is, there's another story. I don't know if we get a chance to do it. With this guy who they approached him because he was black sitting in a public place. Basically, he was a black guy sitting in a public place. And somebody was like, this black man sitting in this public place. What is he doing here? So the police come and go, hey, black man, what are you doing here? I'm sitting here waiting for my kids. And this is what we have the audio on the pad video that you have. And she's like, well, give me your ID. If I'm not being charged with anything or suspected of anything, I'm not going to show you my ID. Really, it's clear, and I'm able to clear.
Agree.
Unless it's something that you haven't for, in which case, if I don't do it, you're resisting arrest and so on. So the guy stood up for himself and was like, no, I don't have to show you. I didn't do anything. I'm just here. And it turned into a situation where, of course, they put out this dude, another officer came, also white, male, and they arrested this fucking dude. They threw him, and then, of course, the more he tried to struggle, the more he became, the more justified himself.
His ass.
And they fucked him up.
Tasing and all some other kind of shit. But, that's a thin line because I think this is control. I think this is sort of like trying to, like how you break a wild horse. They're trying to break people to the point to where, because of the way you think, and a lot of people can say, well, just give me your ID. But the law states that you don't have to. So the simple way when you authorize the black man, where did it stop?
But see, I don't think it's this. I think it's simply this. If it was a case to where when this shit is caught on video, like you said, Spielberg is there filming the whole shit and everything, and these cops go down for 50 life, they get their house taken over, then it's worth it. Then I can see, you know what? Not that I'm saying, you give your life for the cause, but then it might be worth it to get fucked up, risk being shot, But the evidence states that you can do all of that shit. These cats can be in a fucking Time Life magazine, fucking putting boots to your ass, and they're most likely going to get away.
Yeah, I mean,
it's
literally, they could probably
worth it.
I think today, and it's gonna, as ridiculous as it sounds, but I think they could, they could probably be posing next to a fucking dead black man like they was posing against Pablo Escobar. When they brought him down, they were posing next to this dude like he was big game.
Well, again,
they was literally like this. Yeah, this fucking guy's dead on the floor with bullets in his head. And they were like,
you go back to the shit that started it all, Rodney King video. You have 5 fucking cops whipping and stomping this black man, and their argument was that he was in control of the situation. How is he in control? Because he didn't stop resisting. So they had to continue to wail and fucking abuse this dude. And this is way back, and this shit has been going on. What was that? Was that 93 or some shit like that?
Some shit. I just a long time ago. Yeah.
Let's say roughly 20 years of video evidence. Not 20 years we've been getting fucked up by the pigs, because Lord knows that's been going on since we got to this fucking country. 20 years of video evidence, hard evidence. And I'm pretty sure it's less than 10% of these pigs get even any time in fucking jail. So that's what I'm saying. It's not worth it. At this point, it's not worth it. State your case. Let them, say what you gotta say, but the moment they're like, they grab you, turn around, put your hands behind your back, any physical commands on it, just be like, okay. I can say you can still keep talking. Now you still might get a baton because you're smart and
being uppity and shit like that.
You're not respecting my authority, blah blah blah. That might be a risk. Okay, blah, blah, blah. But get your hands off me and you're done. You're done.
Yeah. No, this was a crazy segue from the. Well, actually, no, because we wanted to cover this anyway. So I said it's a wild segue from the Ray Rice thing to this, but it just shows me, I kind of wanted to touch upon this because of the article that you had written, and also
because video evidence in a situation like this is so cut and
dry. You're wrong. You put your hands on a woman. That's it. Everyone, even if they don't believe it. They weren't sure to project that out there for everyone else to hear. Whether they in their hearts actually believe this man was justified or there's any justification or whatever. But they make sure to project that, this is totally wrong. Except for when it's something against minorities. Then it's like, actually, And I find that to be so funny. And
just really quick, because we're really out of time for this show.
Holy shit.
Yeah. But my point about the webcam on the police cam, the commissioner of New York was talking about it, and as a trial, they're like, it's just a trial run, because it's going to cost $60,000 to put it on 60 cops, and which my immediately thought, so you're not willing to spend the money to make sure that black people don't keep getting fucking shot and killed and choked out. And that just costs too much. Although you have Manhattan fucking lined with fucking cameras to make sure we catch the terrorists who's coming after our way of life. That you could fucking spend tons of millions of dollars on. But to keep people from getting killed on record, we can't do that. That might cost a little bit too much money. But anyway,
that's a misappropriation of funds, man.
yeah.
Nobody cares about no niggas getting killed. That's a misappropriation of funds.
I found what was also interesting was that, and maybe this was the way they edited it. I'll just say this for the record, they may have edited it this way. But the commissioner was like, we want these cameras so that when there's complaints against the police, we have the cameras to show what really happened. So now we can say, are you sure you really want to file that complaint because we have the video here? Not well. Let's see why this cop shot these 3 black unarmed people. Now we don't want to look at that video.
Wait a second. So what is the difference between the resolution on this shit and
Everyone else's cameras. I'm like, I don't understand. Footage is fucking footage.
Well, you know what? Because they have control of this shit. This shit they can keep from our fucking eyes as long as they need to. If we do it, we can throw it up on YouTube immediately.
or stream it right away, put it in the
Right.
cloud or whatever? Well,
But anyway,
well,
that's our long show. We never got to the crazy shit that we were going to
gonna
talk
get-
about.
yeah,
Is
that's
going to be our next week's show.
Fucked up, yeah.
But this was a happening news story, so we had to tackle this now.
A bunch of these were very topical. So I
So every once in a while we have one of these serious shows, except for that section on there where the fucking guy disturbed me
you edit that out.
because people don't need to
See that kind
Yeah,
of
they don't.
They don't need to see that kind of shit. So we did a nice little quick little resolve where you don't know what's happening. But in any case, next show will be the funny stuff, I don't know if it's funny, this crazy zany shit, but look, it's Insanity Check Radio, and
this particular shit was insane.
Yeah.
Might not have been funny insane,
but it was fucking
insane.
So
So
with that said, we gotta get the hell out of here. We'll see you next week.
with more of this kind of stuff, and
Happier, more crazy, up in the air kind of stuff. So Skillet Sauce,
Ken.
and we're out of here.
Later.
Murmur, 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 murmur.
We live in Brooklyn.